Hello, my name is Mike Harris and I'm going to speak to you about how the Deming cycle helps us with quality. First, just a couple of words about me. I am currently the solo tester at Geckoboard and I've been working in testing for 20 years as a team member, as a test lead and currently as a solo tester. And I'm also co-program chair of the British Computer Society's Specialist Interest Group in testing. Before I start talking about the Deming cycle, I just want to have one slide on background about Lean. Now, Lean is an American description of Japanese production systems. The phrase Lean comes from a dissertation of an MIT researcher who said that Japanese production systems are lean because they do more than mass manufacturing with less. Of primary interest in the study of Lean is the Toyota production system. And coming out of this study on Lean from MIT is the book, The Machine That Changed the World, which was published in 1990 and is an analytical history of car manufacturing. We're now on to the Deming cycle. And you can see I've brightened up my slides with a picture of a Toyota car because Toyota is a primary interest in the study of Lean. Now, the Deming cycle is what Deming is best known for. It's an incremental and iterative development methodology. And if you think of agile being an incremental and iterative development methodology, you can see the Deming cycle as the beginning of agile. In the 1930s, Walter Schuhart of Bell Telephone Labs was using plan, do, study, act cycles with his engineering teams. And he did so because he found that teams that followed plan, do, study, act cycles produced better quality work. Deming learnt the cycle from Walter Schuhart. And when he worked in Japan after World War II, he encouraged the Japanese to use the Deming cycle. And at his famous lecture in 1950, he presented what he called the Schuhart cycle, and which what we know now as the Deming cycle. And Deming wrote about the cycle and the continual improvement of quality. Now this is the cycle. You can see there are 4 parts to it. The first part is plan. The team should plan what the team will do. Second part is do. The team should build and test. The third part is study. The team should study what went wrong and what was right in what they built and tested. And the fourth part is act. The team should change the way of working based on real results. Now, if you look at the diagram, you can see there's a circle and all 4 parts of the diagram of the cycle are represented within the circle. Because they're all within the circle, they're all related to one another, and there is no hierarchy. You can also see the circle as a wheel that rolls forward. There is no beginning and there's no end. It just keeps rolling on. And Deming said the cycle should be repeated with knowledge accumulated and onward. And he spoke about the cycle as a wheel which rolls along the line of concepts regarding product quality and a sense of responsibility for product quality. Occasionally, the Deming cycle is referred to as the Deming wheel. But you can see that at the end of each cycle, the team is going to study what it's done, it's going to act on what it's learned from the study, and it's going to take that learning into the planning for the next cycle. Now, Deming said the reason to study is to learn how to improve tomorrow's product. So this is all about quality. He said everyone can take part. He says everyone has a chance to contribute ideas. Masaki Imai said that the Japanese executives recast the Deming cycle into the plan, do, check, act cycle. Now, the Deming cycle is a quality control program. It's a plan for management. Repeat the 4 steps over and over. Maybe you could say that the Deming cycle is for management and the plan, do, check, act cycle is for a group of people that work on faults encountered at a local level. And the cycles continued to evolve due to work by people like Karo Ishikawa. Jeffrey Leica, in his book, The Toyota Way, said the Deming cycle embodies the learning cycle of the Toyota production system. And as we've seen, the Toyota production system is central to the study of Lean. When I first read about the Deming cycle, it all sounded rather familiar to me because I was working in a Scrum team. And when I read Jeff Sutherland's book about Scrum, Jeff Sutherland being one of the two co-creators of Scrum, he said the Deming Cycle is how Scrum product development is done. And that when he wants to teach people Scrum, he uses the plan, do, check, act cycle to train people with paper aeroplanes. And he found that if teams go through the Deming Cycle 3 times, they get significantly better at building paper aeroplanes. This is what Deming predicted, that actually with each cycle, you should be taking the learning from that cycle into the next one so you can improve quality. Sutherland also said that print retrospectives are the check part of the plan, do, check, act cycle, and it's important to move the team onto the act part so that the team makes improvements. You've seen the Deming Cycle is part of Lean because it is part of the Toyota production system, and it's also a part of Agile because you can see it's part of Scrum. And you all can see it's also about quality. Deming's primary interest was with quality. Now, to sum up, I'd like to say that the Deming Cycle helps us because it is all about improving quality. And it also helps us testers gain rapport with managers and Agile coaches, because managers may well have studied the cycle as part of their MBA, and Agile and Lean coaches will know all about Deming, will know all about the Deming Cycle. We all work in Lean and Agile teams, and Lean and Agile teams work using the Deming Cycle, so it is really very useful for us as testers to know all about it. I hope you found this presentation useful, and I'd like to thank you for listening. Thank you.